Waylon Jennings can create a beautiful life in his songs, but he can't do it with his own life. As a lifelong substance abuser during the music production process, Waylon had to trade his life because of the unpredictable consequences of alcohol. It is worth mentioning that during the years of his artistic career, Waylon hid it, and only today, his daughter revealed this painful truth. Join us as we explore the terrible things that happened to Waylon. According to Waylon's daughter, his tragedy began in 1959. At that time, he found himself at a pivotal moment in his budding music career. At the time, he was just starting to carve out his path in the world of music, with aspirations and dreams as vast as the Texas horizon. His journey was about to intersect with that of a legend, Buddy Holly, whose meteoric rise in the rock and roll scene was nothing short of extraordinary. Buddy Holly, already a luminary figure in the burgeoning genre of rock and roll, had made a name for himself with smash hits like That'll Be the Day, Peggy Sue, and Maybe Baby. His innovative sound and magnetic stage presence captivated audiences across the nation, and he was on the cusp of solidifying his status as a musical icon. It was during this pivotal period that Jennings found himself in the orbit of greatness. Buddy Holly, recognizing Jennings's talent and potential, took him under his wing, offering him a rare opportunity to participate in recording sessions. These sessions were not just any recording sessions. They were orchestrated by Holly himself, a testament to his belief in Jennings' abilities. But it wasn't just in the recording studio where Jennings found himself immersed in Holly's world. The iconic musician extended an invitation for Jennings to join him on the Winter Dance Party Tour, a whirlwind musical extravaganza that promised to electrify audiences from coast to coast. This tour, a package show featuring some of the biggest names in rock and roll, including J.P. Richardson, better known as the Big Bopper, and Ritchie Valens, the young sensation who had transformed the folk song La Bamba into a rock classic, was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Jennings. The tragic events surrounding the Winter Dance Party Tour took a devastating turn on that fateful day of February 3, 1959, forever etched in history as the day the music died. As the tour buses continued to falter, plagued by mechanical issues and the harsh grip of winter, Buddy Holly made a decision that would alter the course of music history. Following a performance in Clear Lake, Iowa on February 2nd, Holly, determined to ensure that his band arrived safely at their next destination in Fargo, North Dakota, chartered a small plane. The decision stemmed from a desire to bypass the uncertainties of road travel, compounded by the prevalence of illness among the touring party. Both J.P. Richardson and Ritchie Valens were battling the flu, their weakened states adding an additional layer of concern to the journey ahead. In an unexpected twist of fate, Richardson, originally slated to travel by bus, approached Waylon Jennings, seeking to exchange his seat on the chartered plane for Jennings' spot. Jennings, ever the gracious friend, readily agreed to the request, unaware of the tragic turn of events that awaited. In a moment of light-hearted banter, as Holly boarded the ill-fated plane, he playfully remarked to Jennings, "I hope your old bus freezes up." Jennings, perhaps unaware of the gravity of the situation, responded in jest, "Well, I hope your old plane crashes." It was a fleeting exchange, filled with the camaraderie and gallows humor typical of musicians on the road. Tragically, those seemingly innocuous words would haunt Jennings for the rest of his days. Shortly after takeoff, the small aircraft encountered treacherous weather conditions, and within moments, tragedy struck. The plane plummeted to the earth, claiming the lives of everyone on board: Buddy Holly, J.P. Richardson, Ritchie Valens, and pilot Roger Peterson. The news of the crash sent shockwaves through the music world, casting a pall of grief over fans and musicians alike. The loss of three budding talents, each on the brink of greatness, was a bitter pill to swallow. For Jennings, the weight of survivor's guilt would be a burden he carried for years to come, haunted by the thought of what might have been, While his later years were defined by his unwavering devotion to Jessie Coulter, the road to happily ever after was paved with its fair share of trials and tribulations. Their union in 1969 marked the beginning of a lifelong partnership, one that would weather the storms of fame and fortune with unwavering strength and resilience. Central to their love story is their son, Waylon Jennings, affectionately known as Shooter Jennings, whose own musical career would later illuminate the legacy of his famous parents. Shooter's presence in their lives served as a testament to the enduring power of love and the timeless bonds of family. However, before finding solace in the arms of Jessie Coulter, Jennings traversed a rocky path in matters of the heart. His early years were marked by a series of marriages and divorces, each chapter leaving its mark on the fabric of his life. At the tender age of 17, Jennings exchanged vows with Maxine Lawrence, embarking on a journey of matrimony that saw the arrival of 4 children. Despite the joys of parenthood, their union was not destined to withstand the test of time, and Jennings soon found himself seeking solace elsewhere. In 1962, Jennings took his second plunge into matrimony, this time with Lynn Jones. Together, they embarked on a new chapter of their lives, adopting a daughter and navigating the complexities of married life. Yet, after 5 years, the strains of their relationship became too great to bear, leading to yet another divorce for Jennings. The cycle of love and loss continued as Jennings entered into a brief marriage with Barbara Road before fate intervened, leading him into the arms of Jessie Coulter. Their love story unfolded against the backdrop of a shared passion for music, with Coulter breathing new life into Jennings's career as he helped her relaunch her recording aspirations. For Jennings, Coulter was more than just a partner. She was his guiding light, the beacon of hope that illuminated his path through the darkest of times. He credited her with turning his life around, her unwavering support and love serving as the bedrock upon which his newfound happiness was built. In his candid recollections with Rolling Stone, Jennings laid bare the raw realities of his darkest days, painting a portrait of a man teetering on the brink of self-destruction. At his lowest point, weighed down by the burdens of addiction and despair, he found solace in the arms of Jessie Coulter, a beacon of light amidst the shadows of his troubled mind. "I weighed 138 pounds, and I was bent on self-destruction," Jennings confessed, his words laden with the weight of regret and longing for redemption. Wallowing in self-pity was the biggest part of it, staying depressed all the time and stoned. In Jessie, he found not only a partner but a lifeline, a guiding force that would lead him back from the brink of oblivion. For Jennings, Jessie Coulter was more than just a wife. She was his salvation, the embodiment of all that was good and pure in a world consumed by darkness. Her unwavering love and steadfast support served as a beacon of hope, illuminating the path to redemption that lay ahead. Yet their journey was not without its share of trials. Jennings' battles with cocaine addiction cast a shadow over their marriage, threatening to tear apart the fragile fabric of their love. In moments of weakness, he succumbed to the allure of drugs, dragging himself and his wife through the depths of despair. In a candid interview with People, Jennings acknowledged the toll his addiction had taken on their relationship, admitting that he had put Jessie through hell. Their marriage, once a bastion of love and hope, was tested to its limits as they grappled with the demons that threatened to tear them apart. But true love, as they say, knows no bounds. Despite the challenges they faced, Jennings and Coulter emerged stronger, their bond forged in the crucible of adversity. As the lyrics of their duet so eloquently proclaim, "Storms never last," and so it was with their love. Waylon Jennings's brush with death in 1972 stands as a chilling reminder of the fragility of life, a stark wake-up call amidst the haze of his hard-living ways. At the age of 35, the country music icon found himself teetering on the edge of oblivion after a seemingly innocuous snack at a diner on the Colorado border turned into a life-threatening ordeal. In his candid autobiography, Waylon, an Autobiography, Jennings recounted the harrowing events that unfolded on that fateful day, forever etched in his memory as a stark reminder of the dangers that lurk in the most unexpected of places. It was a seemingly routine pit stop during a tour, a momentary pause in the whirlwind of life on the road that would alter the course of his existence in ways he could never have imagined. As Jennings indulged in a simple meal of pie and milk, little did he know that he was unwittingly ingesting a lethal cocktail of danger. Unbeknownst to him, the diner's fare harbored a silent menace, a threat that would soon wreak havoc on his unsuspecting body. It wasn't until after his snack that Jennings' world came crashing down around him. A wave of illness swept over him, its intensity leaving him reeling in agony. In the depths of his suffering, he remembered a warning issued before his journey to the area, a cautionary tale of a hepatitis outbreak, a virulent disease that ravages the liver with ruthless efficiency. In that moment of realization, Jennings found himself confronting the grim specter of mortality head-on. The innocuous indulgence that had once brought him comfort now threatened to snuff out his life, casting a shadow of fear and uncertainty over his future. As the illness tightened its grip on his weakened body, Jennings teetered on the brink of death, his very survival hanging in the balance. Yet, despite feeling sick and battered, he soldiered on to his next performance, driven by a sense of duty and dedication to his craft. Little did he know that the worst was yet to come. As he took to the stage, Jennings was met with an uncharacteristic wave of exhaustion, his body protesting against the strain of his illness. Back and kidney pain racked his body, a cruel reminder of the unseen dangers lurking within. It was Jessie Coulter, his ever-watchful wife and confidant, who first sounded the alarm. Observing his pallid complexion and the telltale yellowing of his skin, a classic symptom of hepatitis, she urged him to seek medical attention. Yet, in his stubborn pride, Jennings dismissed her concerns, attributing his appearance to nothing more than the reflective glow of his gold-colored shirt. But fate had other plans in store. In a cruel twist of irony, Jennings collapsed on stage, his body succumbing to the ravages of the disease. As he drifted in and out of consciousness, he was met with the grim reality of his situation. A diagnosis of hepatitis, a silent assassin that threatened to claim his life. At first, Jennings resisted treatment, his pride and stubbornness standing as formidable barriers to his recovery. But as his condition worsened, he was forced to confront the harsh reality of his mortality. It was Jessie's unwavering love and concern that ultimately persuaded him to seek professional help, leading him to the doors of a hospital where he would wage his most arduous battle yet. The road to recovery was long and arduous, marked by moments of triumph and despair. Yet with Jessie by his side, Jennings found the strength to persevere, his will to live, eclipsing the darkness that threatened to consume him. Waylon Jennings' battle with cocaine addiction in the 1970s and 1980s stands as a stark testament to the destructive power of substance abuse, a dark chapter in the life of a musical legend plagued by inner demons and personal turmoil. Despite his undeniable talent and success, Jennings found himself ensnared by the insidious grip of addiction, a relentless foe that threatened to consume him whole. As recounted by People magazine, the grip of cocaine addiction tightened its hold on Jennings throughout the tumultuous decades of the 1970s and 1980s. Despite the outward trappings of fame and success, he found himself trapped in a downward spiral of self-destruction, his life unraveling before his very eyes. Even a high-profile bust by police at a Nashville recording studio in August 1977 failed to shake Jennings from the clutches of addiction. Charged with intent to distribute due to the staggering quantity of cocaine found on his person, he seemed impervious to the consequences of his actions, the allure of the drug eclipsing all rational thought and judgment. Despite the mounting toll of his addiction, the effects of cocaine seemed to have little impact on Jennings's work, at least initially. His musical prowess remained undiminished, his performances continuing to captivate audiences with their raw energy and emotion. However, the turning point came in a dramatic fashion during a 1984 show in Portland, Oregon, as chronicled by Taste of Country. On that fateful night, Jennings, in the throes of his addiction, stumbled onto the stage, his once commanding presence reduced to a mere shadow of its former self. Mumbling his way through just a few songs, he faltered and stumbled, the stark contrast to his usual self-drawing gasps of disbelief from the audience. As the chorus of boos cascaded down upon him, Jennings found himself confronting the harsh reality of his addiction in the most public of arenas. It was a moment of reckoning, a wake-up call that served as a stark reminder of the toll his addiction had taken on his life and career. In the aftermath of the disastrous performance, Jennings was forced to confront the devastating consequences of his addiction head-on. Around this time, Jennings's decline took a dangerous turn as he began to neglect his physical well-being, forsaking food in favor of the false euphoria offered by cocaine. His devoted wife, Jessie Coulter, confronted him with the harsh reality of his situation, forcing him to confront the consequences of his actions. In a desperate bid to sustain his failing health, Coulter took matters into her own hands, insisting that Jennings consume protein-fortified milkshakes to stave off the ravages of malnutrition. Yet, despite her unwavering support, Jennings found himself ensnared in a web of despair, his mind clouded by the suffocating grip of addiction. It was in this moment of darkness that a ray of hope emerged, casting its illuminating glow upon the path to redemption. Fellow country music icon Johnny Cash, himself a survivor of addiction, offered Jennings a lifeline in the form of the Betty Ford Center, a renowned rehabilitation facility known for its compassionate and effective approach to recovery. For Jennings, the recommendation served as a beacon of hope, a glimmer of light amidst the darkness of his despair. Yet, despite the allure of professional treatment, he found himself hesitant to embark on the path to rehabilitation once more, haunted by the specter of past failures. In a bold and decisive move, Jennings chose to chart his own course to recovery, eschewing the traditional route of rehabilitation in favor of a more radical approach. Determined to break free from the shackles of addiction once and for all, he opted to go cold turkey, a decision that would test his resolve to its limits. Retreating to the solitude of Arizona, Jennings isolated himself and his family from the outside world, seeking refuge in the quiet tranquility of the desert landscape. It was here, amidst the vast expanse of the desert sands, that he would confront his demons head-on, his determination to overcome addiction serving as his guiding light in the darkest of nights. But before embarking on his journey to sobriety, Jennings made a solemn vow to himself and his loved ones. With a heavy heart and a steely resolve, he bid farewell to his former life of addiction, flushing $20,000 worth of cocaine down the toilet as a symbolic gesture of his commitment to change. From that moment on, Jennings remained true to his word, steadfast in his determination to forge a new path free from the shackles of addiction. Though the road to recovery was fraught with challenges and setbacks, he emerged triumphant, a testament to the power of perseverance and the resilience of the human spirit. Waylon Jennings' finances throughout the latter half of the 20th century were as tumultuous as his legendary career in country music. Despite amassing considerable wealth as a major singer-songwriter, recording artist, and concert draw, Jennings found himself caught in a cycle of boom and bust, his fortunes ebbing and flowing with the tides of fame and fortune. According to his candid memoir, Waylon, an autobiography, Jennings faced the specter of bankruptcy not once, but 3 times throughout his illustrious career. Despite the lavish trappings of success, including opulent homes and expansive real estate holdings, Jennings found himself teetering on the brink of financial ruin as he recklessly pursued his passion for music and the thrill of bringing it to the people. At the heart of Jennings's financial woes lay a tangled web of expenses, from exorbitant staff salaries to the logistical challenges of touring and production. His expansive team included a veritable army of personnel, from road managers and band managers to publicists, secretaries, booking agents, and personal assistants, each playing a crucial role in the machinery of his music empire. On the road, Jennings spared no expense, employing multiple crews, production managers, and roadies to ensure that each performance was a flawless spectacle worthy of his legendary status. A convoy of trucks and buses ferried equipment and personnel from venue to venue, transforming each concert into a logistical marvel that rivaled the grandeur of his musical talents. Yet for all his success and acclaim, Jennings found himself grappling with the harsh realities of financial mismanagement and overspending. Advances from record labels were squandered before album releases, bank accounts were drained, and properties were seized as creditors closed in on their prey. Waylon Jennings' financial woes reached a crescendo in 1981 when he made the painful decision to file for bankruptcy, a move that laid bare the extent of his staggering debt. With liabilities totaling a staggering $2.5 million, Jennings found himself grappling with the harsh realities of financial ruin, a stark reminder of the high stakes inherent in the volatile world of fame and fortune. But for Jennings, the specter of bankruptcy was not just a consequence of reckless spending and financial mismanagement. It was also intricately linked to the insidious grip of addiction. Throughout his tumultuous career, Jennings battled a crippling cocaine habit, a voracious addiction that consumed not only his physical and mental health but also his financial resources. The cost of maintaining his drug habit was staggering, with Jennings reportedly spending a jaw-dropping $1,500 a day at the peak of his consumption. The exorbitant price of addiction only served to exacerbate his already precarious financial situation, pushing him further into the abyss of debt and despair. Waylon Jennings' battle with cocaine addiction took a devastating toll on his health, particularly on his heart. Despite kicking the habit in 1984, the damage inflicted by years of substance abuse would haunt him for years to come, culminating in a series of harrowing heart troubles that threatened to claim his life. In October 1988, Jennings faced a stark wake-up call when doctors performed a balloon angioplasty to clear a blocked artery, a procedure that laid bare the extent of the damage wrought by his tumultuous past. Yet, just 2 months later, as he embarked on yet another leg of his musical journey, tragedy struck once again. While en route to a gig in Tennessee aboard his tour bus, the 51-year-old Jennings was suddenly overcome by intense chest pains, a cruel reminder of the fragility of his health. With swift precision, his driver rerouted to Baptist Hospital in Nashville, where tests revealed the chilling truth: a partial blockage in 3 of Jennings' arteries, a dire prognosis that necessitated immediate intervention. Without hesitation, doctors sprung into action, performing triple bypass surgery to save Jennings's life. Miraculously, he had not suffered a heart attack, but the narrow brush with death served as a stark reminder of the precariousness of his condition. With his life hanging in the balance, Jennings embarked on a journey of recovery that would test his resilience to its limits. Under doctors' orders of rest and relaxation, Jennings was forced to confront the harsh realities of his lifestyle head-on. 2 months' worth of concerts were canceled as he grappled with the gravity of his situation, forced to adopt healthier habits in a bid to reclaim his health and vitality. For Jennings, the road to recovery was fraught with challenges, but he faced each obstacle with characteristic determination and resolve. Central to his newfound lease on life was a radical overhaul of his diet and lifestyle as he bid farewell to the vices that had once threatened to consume him. "I had to change the way I eat," Jennings confessed in an interview with UPI, acknowledging the pivotal role that diet played in his recovery. Yet perhaps the most daunting challenge of all was giving up smoking, a prodigious habit that had been a constant companion since his youth. Like many users of the drug, cocaine suppressed Jennings' appetite, leaving him subsisting on milkshakes force-fed to him by his devoted wife, Jessie Coulter, during the darkest days of his addiction. However, when Jennings finally conquered his addiction in the mid-1980s, the pendulum swung in the opposite direction. With his newfound sobriety came a resurgence in his appetite, leading to a notable weight gain that left him feeling uncomfortable and self-conscious. "I hated the way I looked because once I started gaining weight, I couldn't stop," he candidly admitted in his autobiography. Waylon, an autobiography. Unfortunately, the toll of addiction on his body was far from over. In a cruel twist of fate, Jennings was diagnosed with adult-onset, or type 2 diabetes, less than a decade into his drug-free life. This form of diabetes, which often develops in older, overweight adults, is characterized by the body's inability to properly process food or regulate blood glucose levels, leading to a host of severe complications. One such complication that afflicted Jennings was peripheral vascular disease, a condition in which blood flow in the arteries of the limbs is severely impeded. In Jennings' case, the condition manifested in both of his legs, causing excruciating pain and threatening his mobility. In April 2000, Jennings underwent surgery in a desperate bid to alleviate some of the agony caused by peripheral vascular disease. Despite the procedure, his health continued to deteriorate rapidly. In 2001, he contracted a severe infection in his foot, a complication exacerbated by his compromised immune system and the ravages of diabetes. Tragically, Jennings's body proved unable to fight off the infection, necessitating the amputation of his foot in a last-ditch effort to save his life. Yet even this drastic measure could not stem the tide of his declining health. Just 2 months later, on February 13, 2002, the country music legend succumbed to complications related to diabetes at the age of 64. What do you think about the tragedies that Waylon Jennings had to go through? Leave us your comments in the section below. We hope you have found this helpful video. Don't forget to leave a like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you like it. Thank you for watching this and see you in the next videos. Goodbye.